Today I came across a very strange tweet. It says, this is pretty mind blowing, obviously it is. A podcast that is entirely generated by artificial intelligence where Joe Rogan, the famous podcaster, is interviewing Steve Jobs. Today is 12th of October 2022. Steve Jobs is dead probably 10 years ago. Again, I don't have the exact number, but yes, he died around 10 years ago. Maybe in 2011 he died. The person is already dead. The other person who is interviewing has not yet started his podcast journey, probably by 2011. So you can understand what is happening here. The dead person is now appearing as an interview. Now, is he a ghost? Obviously, he is not a ghost because this thing is done using AI. Now, before I go to this particular application, I want to showcase one thing which Elon Musk said about AI, that it possesses, it has a fundamental existential risk of human civilization. It poses as a fundamental existential risk for human civilization because obviously what AI can do cannot be predicted and it may actually end the human civilization. Now, obviously, I have no future understanding about it, but I do understand the impact of this particular statement when I saw this particular platform. You can come to this particular platform. Obviously, this is podcast.ai. I'm going to put that link in the description of this particular video. And if you're going to play this button now, let me see if you're able to.
It was difficult to describe Apple users, and that's a good thing. It's cool. Well, I was an Apple.
Now, I'm not sure if you're able to hear it or not, but since I was a very big fan of Steve Jobs, so I was able to relate, okay, this voice actually resembles about Steve Jobs. And I did listen to the whole podcast. I did listen to the whole 19-minute podcast just to verify that. So you can imagine the kind of applications can be created using the power of artificial intelligence. Now here what they did, they actually fed all the voices, or I would say videos probably, which were available of Steve Jobs, so they could replicate the voice of a Steve Jobs. Now how that was done, obviously you can see voices powered by play.ht. And if I'm going to click on that, so what it does, AI powered text to voice generation. So where is AI here, Avinash? The AI is the tone, the way the person speaks. If I talk about, if you're going to listen to Joe Rogan, you will be able to understand how he says things. If you're going to listen to Steve Jobs, you understand, okay, this is the voice of Steve Jobs. This generation is technically very difficult. Yes, obviously, like you can mimic them. But if you want to generate through a computer, or I would say through AI, that is bit difficult. And this is what they are doing. They're using this particular platform. Obviously, I'm not paid by any of these tools. I'm just excited about the technology. That is why I'm just showcasing that. So what this tool does, it just actually converts text to voice. The beauty here is the voice is not a computer generated voice. The voice could be of your friend. The voice could be of a famous politician. The voice could be of Avinash. The problem here is the voice can be misused also. So this is why I have mentioned this particular piece of article, fundamental existential risk of human civilization. Now, I want to mention one thing. Obviously, this particular podcast is generated through AI if I talk about. So if someone is going to show it to me, I'll simply deny. I'll say this is generated by AI. But let's say if someone else is using someone else's voice and they are generating with AI, probably the users who are not aware of it may face some challenges. So what I wanted to discuss in this particular video is you can imagine the kind of applications AI can create. So obviously the career in AI is immense, but the most important thing is if you can devise something, or if you can generate a model which can predict that this podcast was actually shot, this actually happened, this particular event actually happened, compared to this particular podcast, if I may, was generated through AI. Because obviously if you're aware of deep fakes if I talk about, so obviously a lot of people are not able to understand it, but obviously humans who have understanding of deep fakes can find out. So with this, I want to conclude this particular video. I'm very excited about this piece of technology. I just hope that it is not misused.